Okay, so hopefully my recorder is going to work because I am the one sharing time. It's going to be that's okay. Um, I'm going to start from the first lesson. If at all you went through the documentation, just tell me what you discovered. Um, on my list, I have patience. Patience, did you go through the documentation? Okay, that's muted. Dorcas, did you go through the documentation?
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
think.
So, what did you discover? Just few things.
Um, discovered that tuples were data structures. Actually, they're the only Python data structure that's immutable.
Okay.
That is, once it's created, it's content cannot be modified.
Mm-hmm.
And that if you desire to modify the content of its component, you can convert it to a list.
Awesome. Okay. That's with respect to the classes we've been having. What about dictionaries? Did you manage to touch dictionary at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you discovered?
I discovered that a dictionary is immutable Python data structure
Mm-hmm.
that's made up of a key and value pair.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So
true.
each element in a dictionary actually has a key and a corresponding value.
Sounds yeah, that's true. Um, okay, so if I have to go through everybody, we might just end up having an entire 1 hour 30 minutes just for question and answers. But yeah, that sounds like you went through the documentation I sent. So we are just going to continue and see how far we can go. We're going to try to cover dictionaries today. Bet you I'm not going to go too extensive. I'm going to just try to give you an overview and maybe send you a lot of documentations on how you can get resources. That's how we are going to work. I'm not going to take too much time explaining, but I will explain. I'll try to explain, of course, but I'll not take too much time. Okay. Hope everybody is okay with that. Now, are we okay with that? Okay. And who here knows French a bit? I can be really bad at French. So if at any instance I need somebody to help me explain something, who can help? Josiane?
So I'm sorry, please. You will not be able to hear.
Oh, really? Okay, let's see. Yeah, we'll certainly get somebody. Don't worry. Okay, let's start. We have done list, tuples, sets, and we've all seen the characteristics of these data structures. We're just going to move forward to dictionaries and see what they are, right? Dictionary is a data structure just like the other ones, but has its own key characteristics. Now, in lists and tuples and sets, we have been accessing elements mainly by index. That means at a certain position 0, position 1, position 2, and so on. Dictionaries are a little different, that they are data structures that are stored in key value pairs. Okay, so the key is that index of that dictionary that we can access. For example, if we were to store data for a student, we are going to store the student's name in the name key, store the student's age in the age key. So for this data structure now, if we want to access data, some particular data, we are going to access it by the key instead. Okay, this is similar to, I don't know, for those who have done JavaScript, objects. Objects are key value. You have is it in Java, people who have done Java, something like hash maps or something like that. For those who have done PHP, you hear things like associative arrays and all the like. That's how dictionaries are structured. Key value. Okay. That is the peculiar thing about dictionaries. And at first, before Python 3.7, I think dictionaries were ordered. All right. That means they cannot have duplicates generally. And right up to now, I think it's still ordered. So you cannot have a dictionary that has two same keys. Let's say the first item is name equal John, and then you have another name equal Andrew, for example. It's not going to go. So dictionaries are ordered, and then you also have the aspect of mutability. That means changing values. Now, which data structure did we mention that was immutable? We've done, I think we've done some of them. Can anyone give me a hint of a data structure that is immutable? Okay, we have tuples. Yeah, we have tuples and we have frozen sets, I guess. So we have those two. Tuples are the most the ones that are more pronounced. You also have sets, but a particular type of set called a frozen set. It is also immutable. But with dictionaries, it is mutable. It means we can change the value at a particular index. Okay. And we have a bunch of methods uh, that we can use in dictionaries. We have things like clear, we have things like copy, we have things like get, we have things like items, keys, values. We even have things like pop. Okay. Now we are going to see how each of these works. Maybe when we are doing an example. But if we have a dictionary that has values and we call the clear method on it, it literally just removes all the elements from the dictionary. Copy literally creates a copy of that dictionary and maybe save it as another variable name or something. Um, get gets the a particular key from the dictionary. Say if you wanted to get the name, you can say my dictionary.get and then pass in the key. It is similar to accessing a dictionary like this. Okay, my dictionary at index name. I will show you people the difference between the get and accessing it with the index. You also have the keys where you get all the keys from a dictionary. You have the values where you get all the values from a dictionary. Now, in relation to all these methods, I don't like over talking. I'm going to switch my VS Code. Let me know if you can see my screen quite well. Dictionaries, not py. And like we said, if we are defining a dictionary, we are going to have the dictionary name. My dictionary is equal to open curly braces. Then you pass in the values for your dictionary. Like I said, dictionaries have key value. So for example, name, then I have colon, then the name, for example. That is a dictionary. That's the first item of that dictionary. My name is this name. So this is the key and this is the value. If we had another one called age, that's what could be the age. I'm old, I'm 49, and we have which other one can we have? Address, uh, Bamenda, or something. So this is how you are going to define a dictionary. Hopefully it's clear. You use key value pairs. You initialize it with curly brackets just like sets. And if you wanted to print this dictionary, you can literally just say print my dic or something, my dictionary. And if I had to run this, Python dictionary.py, I have something printed like this. So it prints out the same thing. And yeah, That is how you define a dictionary. Now, going to the next thing that I mentioned about accessing elements of a dictionary, you see, if we had to access maybe the name of this dictionary, I'm going to change this from my dictionary to uh, person. And sorry, I'm using dollar sign. Who knows what dollar sign is for? Josiane, have you seen dollar sign before? Okay.
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Who here has seen PHP? Has even written one line of code in PHP? Let me not get into that. Let me see. Uh, okay. So let's go ahead, try accessing the element of a dictionary. You can just go ahead, print person at index of the key. All right. So index, let's say we wanted to get the name, the key is name. Person at index name. It's going to go through the dictionary and look for the key called name and then print the value. So at this point, we are expecting to see Andrew being printed. So if I were to run this, oh, what did I do? Person is not defined. Let me go to my terminal and run that. Okay, so I have Andrew here. That is the person at index name. That is how you access the element of a dictionary by their key. Okay, so if you wanted to get age, you say person at index of what? Age, and that's going to print 49. If you wanted to access the address, it's the same thing. So that's literally how you access the elements of a dictionary. Now, with respect to uh, these dictionary methods, I'm just going to go through them one after the other. Now, if we call the clear on a particular dictionary, we literally remove all the items that were in that dictionary. So if, for example, I come here and say person.clear like that, and I try printing person here, and I try printing person here after calling the clear method on the dictionary, what do you expect? Who can guess? Somebody guess. At least that one.
The dictionary should be empty.
Okay, so I'm just going to run that and we get an empty dictionary. So yeah, if you wanted to define an empty dictionary, this is how you should define an empty dictionary. Okay, so you can go ahead and maybe redefine a dictionary or do something after clearing. But that is what clear does. I'm going to temporarily comment this out and go to the next method, dictionary copying. So if I were to duplicate this dictionary into another variable, I'm going to say, okay, new person is equal to person dot copy, and that is literally going to print, it's literally going to copy the content of the person to the new person. So if I were to print person and new person, let us see what we will get. So you see it is exactly the same thing. So this is how you copy. You can copy the content of a dictionary. Let's take, for example, you had some data set that is coming from a certain file. You've loaded it into a dictionary, and you don't want to mess up with the actual data. So you want to literally maybe work with a copy of it. All right. That is how you are going to do it in Python. You create a copy of the dictionary, work with it, and maybe rename it back to the original dictionary so that you don't mess up with data that was there. That's the use of copying, at least, right? That is it. Then you have the get, which gets an item from a dictionary. Now let us talk about accessing items. We already accessed an item here. I'm going to take an example here and go ahead and say, okay, what if I wanted to print person at index of, let's say, uh, what else is that? Date of birth, for example. Now, date of birth is not listed within this dictionary, right? So, if I were to print this, I literally have to comment all of this. I don't like saying too much. If I were to print this, I get an error, right? So I get a key error. The key date of birth does not exist within my dictionary. So how do I solve this problem? You don't want to be getting this kind of errors. So what you want to do is, instead of accessing the dictionary like this, you can literally access it with the get. So person dot get, and then you pass in the key date of birth. Now I want you to take a look at the difference between accessing it like this and accessing it with square brackets. So while I am going, if you don't understand anything, you let me know. Okay. I will not you will not have to wait for me to finish before you ask your question. So yeah, accessing the items, I've accessed like this and I'm trying to access like this. Take a look at the difference. So if I were to run this, okay, this through an error. So in Python, since it is interpreted, if this line causes an error, there's no way it's going to come to this line. So I'm going to comment that. You've seen that it has thrown a key error. Now, after commenting the line, let me leave this and run the script. You see a none, right? So based on these two, what do you think is the difference? Janice? Hello, Janice. Janice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the difference between person at index of date of birth and person dot get date of birth?
I don't get it.
You don't get it. So
Yes.
I tried printing person at index of date of birth and we got a key error, right? This is what,
Yes.
and then I printed person dot get date of birth and it returned a none. And I'm asking what is the difference? That is what you were going to, that's what you were supposed to tell me. So if
Oh.
Yeah. So if at any point you don't want to be handling some kind of errors in dictionaries, like key errors, I had prefer that you do this. You get person dot get date of birth instead of getting this. If you are trying to do this, you probably want to put this inside a try catch. So you want to catch this. You want to catch an error for this instead of just allowing it to throw this kind of error. Okay. So yeah, the difference is that the person dot get, if it does not see that particular key, it returns a none. But person at index of date of birth returns or throws a key error that you will need to catch in your program. You need to do something like try, then catch. Don't worry. This, I think you people do it in the future. Something like this. That is how you need to do it. Put it inside try catch for it to. Okay. Please, which screen are you people seeing? Can you see my code?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Somebody mentioned that favor. Favor, maybe you want to refresh so that you see because I think others are seeing my screen. Okay. Sorry about your network. So yeah, that was it about dictionaries, copy and get. Okay, if you want to create a copy of your data to work with, you use a copy. If you wanted to get a particular item, right, particular item in a dictionary, either access it like this or like this. And I was saying that I prefer you use the get so that you don't go ahead trying to catch a lot of errors. Now, for example, let us say we were reading some kind of data um, in from a CSV file. That is how you will be reading data in most cases in the future. Now, some of them might be empty. So let's say you have the first row is having name, age, and date of birth. The second one is having name, date, and name, age, and date of birth, but the date of birth is empty, and you wanted that there should be a default value for that date of birth. How do you add that default value? Because when you start loading data and you're having missing values or NaN, that's how it is called in Python data analysis. When you start having nans, you don't want those null values. So in most cases, okay, let's say the date of birth was not found, you can literally just use the second parameter and pass a default value. So if there is no date of birth, you can return 2024 or 2023 04 or 05 05. So it is going to go through this dictionary and try to get the date of birth. If it doesn't see it, it's going to return this value. That is the use of the default value. Okay. So if I were to run this again, sorry. Let me comment this guy. If I were to run this again, you see now that it has returned but this date instead of a none. Okay. So that is how you can return default values for dictionaries. That is the get. Now let's talk about the next one, which is items. Um, Returns a list of key valued pairs. Okay, so if we had this and we say person dot items like that and print it, you see the difference. It returns a dictionary items of key value pair. So it's literally just returning the same dictionary but formatted differently. Okay, that is what the item does. It literally returns your dictionary in this format. Then you have the keys. So if you wanted to get just the keys from these dictionaries, just the name, this name, the age, the address, just the keys, you can get it by using keys like that. And let us see. You see, these are the keys: name, age, address. You are going to see the how useful these things are probably when you start doing actual data analysis, when you're loading a numpy array or pandas or something, because you might want to extract the headings or the headers from a file and then extract the values differently and then start doing some computations. So yeah, that is how you are going to be able to access. For the people with French, are you people understanding? I did not say I was going to explain in French though. Are we okay? Okay, Marilyn, that's nice. Josiane, is it okay? Josiane, I know you're an English person. How am I even asking? So yeah, if you wanted to get the keys, which is just these first items, key, age, name, address, you use the dictionary dot keys. And of course, if you want to get the values, what do? You just pass the values like that. And that is going to return the values. So you have the keys now as a different array, you have the values as a different array. This means that you can do a lot to this thing. Let's say you wanted to export this data to a CSV file. For example, let's say we wrote a simple console application that was going to get people's names and then store it to a file. So we are going to set the keys to maybe name, age, date of birth, and a bunch of other headers, we put it as the keys array, and then we create another one for the values. Then once we have gotten those values, we write the headers through the keys and then append the data from the values. Literally, that is sounding like some abstract thing right now. We'll see if we can do that in the future. That is how you access dictionary items, from accessing by index or by key, to using the get, to doing a copy, to doing the items and the keys and the values and all of that. Those are some of the dictionary methods that you can use to access dictionaries. So yeah, this is an example. And we have the concept of dictionary comprehension. But maybe before I go to that, let me see. I'll have to switch this. Let's talk about updating a dictionary. We've just been seeing how to access. What if you want to change some particular value at some key? Okay, so this will mean that let's say we wanted to change this person's name from Andrew to Josiane. That means, how do you do it? What do you think we should do, Miss Josiane? What do you think we should do if we wanted to change the person's name from Andrew to Josiane?
So since dictionaries mutables,
Mhm.
we can use add to do it
We can use,
because the add function that add
okay.
to
So
update it to my name.
let's start with the simplest person at index of, let's do this one at least first. Name equal to, then Josiane. The spelling of your name, is it Josiane or that's it?
No, sir.
How, okay, there's you somewhere.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, if you wanted to update the person's name from Andrew to Josiane, we are going to do something like this. Let me check if a dictionary has the add method at all. Does dictionary have a add method? Josiane, where did you see that one? I'm just asking, just curious.
So because dictionary you can add, remove.
Mhm. But
And
yeah, I get your point. Okay. If we call, let's test it. Dictionary, let's say person dot add. You see, this one did not even suggest uh or something. If we just try doing this, this is going to throw an error. Add is not a method of a dictionary. I just showed you some of the methods: clear, copy, get, items, keys, values. But there was nothing like add. Even update, all right? There's nothing like person dot update. Oh, okay, there is update. This could be the one to use. So if we wanted to update a dictionary item, we'll probably want to use the update. But this is the best approach, I think, for now. Okay, this is the best approach we should think of using. This add method does not exist. And of course, like you were saying, if I wanted to update some value, I cannot be using add. Adding is like adding some value or adding some key value pair to the dictionary. Okay, it is not updating. You get the point, right? So let's assume that we wanted to add some item to this dictionary again besides the name, uh, age, and address. We can go ahead and say, okay, person at index of date of birth that we've been talking about is equal to, now we give a new date of birth. I don't know how I should format this date, 2024. or 0908 or whatever. Now, if I want to print my dictionary, this is updating, of course. This one is updates. This one is append. Okay, so if I wanted to run this, uh, let me see. Okay, I need to print the dictionary again. Let me print it. So, so you now see that the first time it was name Andrew, now the name is Josiane, and the second dictionary that is being printed now has a date of birth. Okay, so that is literally how you are going to add an item, to update an item in a dictionary, and all of that. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So, come again. Does that make sense? Shanice, is that okay?
Yes, sir. It makes sense.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now let us go ahead and do some checks, even though it's not here. Let us go ahead and do some checks. Now, what if we wanted to check if an item is in a dictionary? Okay, we wanted to check if a particular key is inside a dictionary. We can use a if statement to check. For example, let me see what we have here. Uh, So we have this stuff and we've added date of birth. Now let us go up here and try to check if date of birth is inside this dictionary. So we use our normal if statement, then the name of the key, let's say date of birth, then we put in the name of the dictionary, then we print uh, date of birth is a key in the dictionary. So this is going to check if this key DOB is found inside a person dictionary. Okay, this is how you can do the check. So if I were to do this and add an else, so that in case else print key does not exist. Okay, so that is how you're going to check if a particular key is inside a dictionary. So if I were to check this right now, I get key does not exist at the beginning. So there is no key called date of birth in this dictionary. That brings us to something. So if you did not want to use the get, you can first of all check if date of birth in person, then go ahead and okay print person at index of date of birth, else print no key found. This is how you may want to catch this error up here, because this one was given what am I doing? This one was literally giving an error saying that okay, key error, date of birth not found. Now to fix that, I have added an if statement to first of all check if the key was found before trying to print it. Else it's going to print key not found. Please, I will first of all just comment all of this because um and comment this. And now if I have to print, you see no key found. You see, this is a way to fix this error if you do not want to use the get. Is that okay? Yeah, so that is how you are going to check if a particular key is found in a dictionary. Of course, you could also check if a key is not found. So it is pretty much like English. If key not in my dictionary, so literally you are going to say that, okay, if date of birth not in person, like that, then cut this, paste it here, cut this, and paste it here. Okay, so yeah, that is how you are going to check if a key is found or if a key is not found. Take note of the other. So if date of birth not in person, and then the other one was if date of birth in person. That is how you check for some keys if keys exist within a dictionary. Is that okay? Assume true. Okay, Marilyn, you say you're a little confused. Is it okay to ask? Can you ask your question?
I'm okay with that, but I have a confused with the difference with append, append, I think. Yeah, but we can continue for towards from
Oh,
the day. Oh,
your network is a little breaking. Did somebody hear her? Maybe you should come again. Can you come
you
again?
don't hear me?
Yeah, come again.
I'm a little confused with app and append.
Okay, I'm getting just a pen, but okay, let me just try to take some stuffs over. Maybe this may clarify your doubt. Okay, so in dictionaries, we do not have the append. Okay, so lists have append, dictionaries do not. So if you wanted to add an item to a dictionary, you cannot say that person dot append. This is going to throw an error. Okay, but if you had a list of, say, my list is equal to something, you can say list dot append, because append is a method of the list, but append is not a method of a dictionary. Okay, so dictionary does not have the function append. Is that okay? I don't know if I attempted your answer. Okay, good. So yeah, you have to be aware of the various data structure methods. For example, somebody was talking about the add. Dictionaries do not have add. Which data structure uses add? I don't know if it is a set or something. Okay. Dictionaries have these methods that we have mentioned here, these ones. Of course, you can go ahead, W3 schools. This is the best place for you to learn as a beginner. Python tutorial. And yes, so if you were to learn some stuffs in Python, you want to come here and learn. So for example, let's talk about let me see. Oh, casting operators list, for example. So you have information about list here, you have all the methods of a list, you have nearly everything about list that you want to know. So this is where you people should be referring to. I'm going to send you this because you need it too. Okay. Uh, if I just give you one structured note like that, it might be limited. But if you get to do these things by yourself, maybe you'll learn more. Okay, that is it about where was I? Let me see. Where was I again? Okay, I was talking about checking if an item or if a key is in a dictionary and so on. Okay, so that is it about dictionaries. There are a bunch of other things. Let me see if okay, traversing through a dictionary is another thing. How do you look through a dictionary? Uh, Now, to look through a dictionary, it is similar uh, to list, but in this case, you will have to maybe specify both the key and the value. For example, if I had a a dictionary, let's say person, we already have a dictionary called person. I'm just going to be using that. If I wanted to look through this, at first I can say, okay, for key in person dot keys, I guess I can go ahead and just print key, for example. This one is literally just going to print all the keys from the person dictionary. So you have name, age, address. You look through the keys. If you wanted to get the values, you say for values, I think I should just duplicate this. If you wanted to get the values, you can say, okay, for value in person dot what values. I already mentioned these methods before, right? So you see, you are just using them. Now, if I get person dot values, this is going to do what? Return a list because the values, I think we tried that before. When I said person dot value, it literally returns a list of the values. Person.keys returns a list of the keys. So if I want to look through either of them, I can just use a normal for loop for key in person.keys because this is a loop. This is similar to for key in a list of keys, print key. For value in a list of values, print value. Now, let's say I want to look through the key and the value at the same time. Okay, so what I would do, I'll now make use of the items method that we mentioned. I'll say for key, comma, value in person dot items because what does the item return? The items return a tuple of key value pairs. So I can go ahead here and say, okay, print key, comma, value like that. Now, let me see. Let me comment all these other ones because I want you people to see exactly what is happening. Okay, so if I were to run this right now, clear, for the first time, these are the keys. Let me see, where was I? For, oh, this is supposed to be value. For the first time, I get all the keys according to this loop. So this one gets all the keys. This one gets all the values, and this one gets all keys and values. So that's what you get here. All the keys, that's the first loop. All the values, that's the second loop. Then this one you have key value. Okay, so this is how you are going to look through a dictionary. If you wanted to look just through the keys of that dictionary, you can just say person.keys. If you wanted to look through the values, you can say person.values. If you want to look through the key and the value, you use the items because the item is going to return both the key and the value. Who is lost? Anyone lost? I think you are not lost. That's nice. Are we there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes.
All right, so that is how you are going to iterate or traverse through a dictionary. Of course, for a list, you just say for item in list of item or for item in range, length of list item, and so on. You can look through it. But for dictionaries, you have to know that the structure is a little different. That is why you do this. That's how you loop. Those are some various things that you can do for a dictionary. So, another thing is that you could decide and say, okay, you can convert all the values or all the keys here into a list. You can convert all the values into a list because people already saw that. So I can just say, for example, list of keys is equal to, you just put the list and then you say person dot keys. And this is going to return the list of keys or return the keys and then convert it into a list. The same thing with values. So you can say values. This is just type conversion. You could call this tuple, you could call this set or whatever. It's just how you call it. It's how you convert from one data structure to the other, right? I'm sure you people did that some time ago. Was it last week? Yeah, that is it about that's traversing, that is converting, that is printing, that is updating, and so on. Those are some things about dictionaries. Now, let us try to do something with a dictionary. Let us try that word frequency analyzer that counts the number of words in a list or in a dictionary or in a string. Sorry. Okay, so word frequency analyzer.py. Let's assume that we had a dictionary, sorry, or a list of items or a string, sorry. Why do I keep making an error? Text is equal to, let's assume that we had apple, we had banana, we had orange. Of course, it could be a sentence. We have apple again, we have banana again, and what again? Watermelon or whatever. I don't know how they call this in real English. How they call it, Josiah?
Forward, sir.
Watermelon. What's the English name of watermelon? Is it watermelon?
There's watermelon.
I don't know. I'm just asking. Um, Yeah, all right. So that is a string, and what we want to do is we want to go through this string and count the number of occurrence of each word. That is something similar to the word frequency analyzer. Janice, I told you about this some time ago, right? So what we can do is that for the start, we will create an empty dictionary that is going to store a word and its count. Okay, so each time we look through a word, we update the count of that word in the dictionary. So we can just say, okay, word count. Let me see that word underscore count is equal to an empty dictionary. And then what can we do? We can now go through the words. How do we first of all go through the words? If we just loop normally, it's going to go by through characters. So what do we do? I think there is a string function that splits. I think so. That splits the words in a string. So I can say words is equal to text dot split. I guess so. Text dot split. I think the first one will go. And what next? Let's now look through the words. For word in words, we now check if this particular word is already inside our dictionary. Okay. So I don't know if I should call this word count or word frequency or whatever. Let me call it word frequency. So if word in word frequency, you see we are using the in that we just mentioned. If that is the case, then we need to now increment the count or the number of occurrence. So we can say that, okay, word frequency at index, I think index of that word plus equal to 1. This is like incrementing the count. Okay, that's a value that we are assigning to it. If there was some value to it, we are going to add 1 to that value. That's literally what we are doing. Else, if that was not the case, what should we do? We should set the value to be 1 because that's the first time that word is being encountered. So we say else, we go ahead and say, okay, word frequency at index of word is equal to 1. I think so. I hope it works. Then we can go, let's just try and print the word frequency like that. So let me go through it again. First, I take the entire string and split it into words. It's going to split based on what this escape character or this space that we see. So once it encounters each space, it's going to split it. At the end, this is going to be a list. These words is going to be a list of words. Okay. Then we loop now through that list for word in words. Loop through list and check if key exists. This is what this one does. So if word in word frequency, so if that key is already in a word frequency dictionary, then we should just increment its count value. Else we should set it count value to 1. Let me see. Let's see this square and Python wfa.py, and I have something like this. So you now see that we have apple occurs 2 times, 1, 2. Banana occurs 2 times, 1, 2. Orange occurs 1 time, just this one. O occurs 1 time. Okay, that is like the word frequency analyzer. Uh, okay, so Josiane said instead of frequency, someone put count. Is it still the same? Please ask your question. Let me hear.
So please, I was asking that in the place of frequency,
Here.
and you replace it with count,
Mhm.
will you still have the same output?
Yeah, so this is just a variable that we define, okay? So we could call it count. And now if we call it count here, we need to replace for word in sorry, if word in count, we do this, we do this, we do this. It's still going to be the same thing. Okay. So this is literally just a variable name. So whatever you decide to call it. So let me change this, for example, to uh escape change or occurrence to word count like that, that is still going to be the same thing. So it is just a variable name. So once you've defined it, you should make sure to use what you defined. Is that fine? Did I answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you get the point, right? So just for this word frequency analyzer, what have we done? We've seen how to check for an item in a dictionary. We've seen how to look through a dictionary, or this is a list, how to check for an item in a dictionary, how to update an item in a dictionary, and how to print a dictionary. That's literally what we are doing, and that's what we've been doing. That's dictionaries. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's assume, I don't know if I should take other example or I should go to this thing. I should go to functions. Should I go to functions?
So let's take another example.
Okay, I'm going to take a very complex example right now. Let's say we had some data from sales, and we let's say it was having the region and the sales that were made in that region. And then as a data analyst, you have been given a task to probably write a script that is going to sum up all the sales per region, right? Let me show you an example. Let me try to do that. Let's say sales.py, and we're going to call it sales data the way it is, the way it was collected. Sales data is equal to some dictionary of the region, let's say Bamenda, and we said, okay, Bamenda had sales, that is a list, 100, 500, 600. We have another region. Sorry, that's not a region, that's a town. Before somebody goes and quotes me wrong. Let's do another one, Boya, for example. And we say, okay, Boya has some sales, 120, 160, 700, right? And so on and so forth. Let me add one again. Uh, Douala, I don't spell Douala well. Douala. I used to have problems with these particular words when I was in from 4, from 3, like that. Imagine 690 and so on and so forth. Okay, let me reduce the size of my screen so you see the entire data. So this is the data that we've been given. Sales data. Now I've introduced something new here. A dictionary must not literally only have key and then some one value. It can be another dictionary here. It can be a list. It can be a tuple. Okay. So dictionaries can have mixed type. So we have been given this sales data, and our task is to go through it and do what they call aggregation. Literally sum all the sales per region and then return the region and the sales. Okay. So that will mean that who has an idea of what we can do here? Hello. Should I call? Ojue, are you there? Let me see. Is she there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm there.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think we should do here? So we want to look through this, or we want to go through this and sum up all the or sum up the amount of sale for each of these things. Is that difficult?
Mm, I don't think it's so difficult, but I don't have a global idea of what to do. Because I know that
Okay. All right. What do you think? All right.
Yes, sir.
Give us idea now.
I think we have to look through the use each key pair and then sum the values of each key and then attach it to the key.
Sum the value of what? The key.
Yes, the values of each key.
Okay. Sum the values. Yeah. Sum the values. Okay. That sounds like an idea. Who agrees with her? But after summing it, how are we going to store it? Okay, Josiane said, okay, total sales is equal to sum sales in dictionary dot values. Sounds like cool. Josiane, can you share your screen and give us a code?
Yes, sir.
I just sent the dictionary initialization to you or to the chat section. Let me stop sharing and you share, right? Okay, your turn.
So let me try to.
Okay.
So please, I've forgotten where I have to share my screen.
You've forgotten?
Okay.
You've forgotten it? Okay, okay. Let me know for you, but you people should just know that you will start sharing your screen. So, okay. All right, no worries. Okay. Um, Now let's try to do it. Let's see what we can do. I'm trying to use the simplest approach. Okay, there are a little bit more advanced ways that we can do these things, but I'm trying to use the first approach for every beginner. Okay, so what we need to do here, we will need to store some how should I call it? We'll need to create some variable that is going to store the aggregated sales because we want another dictionary that will store Bamenda 600 plus 500 plus 100, something like, let me show you, Bamenda colon, then we say, okay, 1200, um, Boya colon, I don't know, this is 380 1080. I don't know if did it well. So, okay, so we want a way that it is going to display our final output like this. That is what I want us to do. You people get the point, right? So for us to do that, let us try to declare a variable called uh, let me just call it analyzed sales. Analyzed sales and set it to what? An empty dictionary. Good. Then I am going to now loop through my dictionary. But in this case, just like somebody mentioned, who mentioned that I have to loop through the key and the value at the same time. So I'll say for. Now we know that is for key, comma, value. But in this case, what is the key? The key is the town. The value is the sales, right? It's just variables that we are calling. Key value in what? In our sales data dot get, or sorry, dot items, I guess. Now this is similar to this thing. We saw how to look through dictionaries here for key value in items, you get. So that is what we are trying to do. So we say for town, that is a key. Pamenda, Boya, Douala. For town, comma, sales, this is a sales. In sales data dot item. So this literally, when we say dot items, it returns is it a tuple of something, what we mentioned. Let me see. Dot items, it returns what? A set like object providing a view of this and blah blah blah. Okay, so there we go. Now that we are in this loop, what we need to do now is to say, okay, total sales for each of them is equal to what? Sum of what? The sales. Because when we go through town, this is a string, sales, this is a list, right? So we call the sum on this list. So total sales is equal to sum of that sales. Then we can now say, okay, uh, analyzed sales at index of what? The town is equal to that total sales. So at the end, this is going to do the job for us. Okay. We look through it for each of the town, we sum the sales and then say, okay, analyze sales at index of this town is equal to the sales that we just totaled. And probably if we try now to print analyzed sales, we should have something pretty good. Oh sorry, somebody is trying to write PHP sales.py, and we now get something analyzed. Bamenda 1200, Boya 1080, Douala 797. Should I take it again? Hello. Yes, Megan.
Yes, sir. So please, what is the use of analyze it equal to total? I don't understand the solution.
What is the use of
Oh, that's
analyze?
line 11.
What is the use of line 11? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this particular, let me start from here. This line, this analyze sales is the new sales or new analyzed sales. So because we wanted that, we should look through this sales data and then come up with a new structure that is going to have the town and the total sales. Okay, a sum of this. So we created a new dictionary that is going to store that kind of data. Now we look through this dictionary, town sales in sales data.items. We calculate the sum of each of them. That's called total sales. Then we now add it to this dictionary. That is what we are doing here. We are adding it to this dictionary here. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is called add it to the analyze sales dictionary. Yeah, that is what we are trying to do. Is there any other worry? So at the end, we now have, let me print the tool so that you see. Control V, sales data. So we have two structures. This is like some basics, like very basic of data analysis. So the first structure, this is what we have. the normal raw sales that will be reported. Now, you as a data analyst, what you do, this is what you get. Okay. It will literally mean that, okay, they'll bring the stuff and you're going to take your calculator and then create a new table somewhere. And then for each of these, you punch 100 plus 500 plus 600. You say Bamenda equal 1,200. Boya, 120 plus 260 plus 700. You say Boya equal to this, and so on. But now this is a script that does that for you. At the end, you could literally just export this script into a new Excel file, and that is some analyze sales. Does that make sense? Josiane,
So
are we d'accord? Or did I lose you?
yes, so it's assignment that is given to me. What question again?
Is assignment. Okay, all right.
Yes, sir. Please, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, what if you want to print out just the aggregated sales and then transfer it to your table without necessarily attributing the town?
Okay, that you want to print just the aggregated sales
Yes, sir. Like
without.
printing order, but without having the names of the town. You said
Okay, then probably initializing an instead of initializing a dictionary, you probably use a different data structure, right, to store the sales there so that it should not be in key value. Or at the end here, you can say analyze sales dot values, right? Because we saw that, and this is going to now just print what? Just the values. Let me show you that. So we now have 1,200, 1,080, and so on. I don't know if that's what you meant.
yes, sir. I
Yeah. Okay. So you see, at this level now, you can do whatever I wanted to do to this. When we do files, you see now that after doing this, we export it to a CSV file, and then we can open that CSV as an Excel sheet and do whatever. Then go advance and use pandas or whatever to plot a graph or plot something with it. That's data analysis. Any other question? Sorry, I had to take an entire 1 hour 30 minutes for dictionaries. I was not expecting that. Well, at least we have done some two, should I call it small practical examples of how these things are applied. Okay. Okay, let me take one difficult example again. Okay, did I hear graph? Yes. Graph now, pie chart, bar chart, all of that. Those are parts of graphs, right? Or they are not. Josiane, are they graphs or they are charts?
So
How you disappear now? You cannot be disappearing. That's data analysis. Why do you want to disappear? This is not what we are supposed to be doing as data analysts. At the end, after doing this computation, we want to visualize our data. Pictures speak better. Okay, so after doing this analysis, you probably want to export your data in charts so that people can understand. Don't worry, at that level, you will not disappear.
okay, so
Are we not sorry? Okay, so I have one difficult example here that I don't know if I should give it as an assignment. What do you think? Should I give it as an assignment or we should do it? Uh, I should give it as an assignment. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do that. Ojire said I should give it as an assignment. Who else says I should do that? So I will be giving you people a data set that you people have to merge into one. Patience says, let's do it. uh,
So you can do it separately for me,
I
then
can
give
do
them as a
it. No, you people will tell your seniors to do it for you. Okay, who else says we should do it? We have just 2 minutes though. Even somebody said it. But I don't know if you people have understood this concept of dictionaries. Is it fine? Because this is the last data structure we are treating, and we'll probably just start getting into functions and other things, error handling and all of that. Hello, are we okay?
Yes, yeah, okay.
Okay. Oh, Brian, why are you crying? Very difficult. Assignment is one sentence. What? Okay, don't worry. I'm going to give the steps that you should follow in it. Okay. Who needs these files? Okay. So, how do I get the files to you? WhatsApp? Should I share it in a group, in the general group, or I should send it to Slack? Yeah, Slack sounds better. Okay. Um. Yeah, that was it for today. Any worry, any question? I'm thinking tomorrow is Tuesday. Uh, who is up for tomorrow?
So we need to be making use of the Wednesday that we kept of.
We need to be.
Making use of the Wednesday we decided to be
Yeah,
uh,
exactly. Exactly.
we are behind.
Yeah, that's why I'm even asking who's up for tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow is the first work day, so especially for those who are in the Northwest and Southwest. Uh, okay, let's just make use of our Wednesday then. I wanted us to have consecutive classes for the next 1 week at the same time. What does thou say, O children of the Most High?